Hello friends, we continue to cover Polish-Ukrainian developments and more. Crisis at the border, political hype, we analyze the main events of the week, huge lines at the border, President Nawrocki's veto on allowing Ukrainian doctors to work, major scandals and the search for Ukrainians in the Sejm, and a lot of other interesting things. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, friends, hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for your support. To everyone who doesn't mind, it only takes 2 seconds, just a couple of simple actions. Thank you. Now let's get down to business. New delays at the Shehyni-Medyka checkpoint. Footage of massive lines to leave Ukraine at the Krakow checkpoint is spreading rapidly online, but travelers should be prepared for new difficulties. Starting June 15, additional delays are expected at one of the busiest checkpoints on the Ukrainian-Polish border, Shehyni-Medyka. Renovation work is starting there on the lanes for processing buses traveling from Ukraine to Poland. According to the State Border Guard Service, bus service will not be completely stopped. However, crossings will face significant delays. According to preliminary estimates, the approximate capacity during the repairs will be up to 8 buses in 12 hours. So friends, plan your routes in advance, or be prepared to spend many exciting hours on the bus at the border. You know, it's summer now, the weather is warm. What else? Friends, there's a lot of news. Watch until the end for the most interesting part. Lithuania, Poland and France will conduct military exercises called Brave Boar in the Suwałki corridor near the Belarus border. According to the publication Delphi, the maneuvers will take place from June 16 to June 26. Servicemen from Poland, France and the Dragoon Battalion of the Vinnytsia Infantry Brigade from Lithuania will take part in them. Defensive actions will be practiced to protect the corridor that connects Russia and its exclave, the Kaliningrad region. Similar exercises were also held in Provozglasi. Last year, more than 800 servicemen from NATO countries took part in them, practicing scenarios of collective defense and rapid response. Write in the comments what you think. Is NATO preparing to attack Belarus or not? So next up we have our Polish segment. About 800 doctors from Ukraine may lose their right to work. We have a serious story here at the intersection of politics and bureaucracy. The President of Poland, everyone's favorite Karl Nawrocki, has vetoed the bill that would have given foreign doctors 1 more year to prove their knowledge of the Polish language. The President rejected the law regulating medical programs because of an amendment that extended the language exam deadlines for doctors from outside the EU. Well, it's obvious that these aren't doctors coming from Australia, but mostly from Ukraine. So the decision is justified by concerns for patient safety. Of course, now these quacks will kill off all the Poles here. Of course, behind this legal wording lies a huge economic benefit that Poland received as a gift, right? According to experts and the Ministry of Health, training and preparing one qualified doctor with a specialization cost the state about 1 million zlotys. By taking in fully trained specialists, Poland saved on training costs and filled system gaps at others' expense. But that's an interesting decision by Mr. Korol, isn't it? The official language deadline expired on May 1st, 2026. Since the law is blocked by a veto and the district medical chambers have already revoked the licenses of 440 specialists, and in the near future this number will rise to 800, serious local problems will arise in provincial hospitals, where these doctors were used to fill empty spots in duty schedules. Well, that's the decision. Write in the comments what you think. The Ministry of Health emphasized that the conditional 5-year period was initially given to foreigners so that they would have time to legalize their documents through recognition of their diplomas, internship and passing the final exam, LEK. But in practice, doctors faced a tough bureaucratic dead end because, well, no, the doctors wrote personally. I'm not claiming that this is absolutely true in all cases, but the doctors I've talked to say that sometimes it's just impossible to sign up for the required language exam at the Supreme Medical Chamber. The waiting lists stretch for months and there aren't enough available slots. And physically fulfilling the requirements of the law, well, it seemed like there was time, yes, but it turned out to be an impossible task because of the logistical collapse on the Polish side. Well, that's how it is, friends. Next, we're heading to the Sejm, where a scandal is unfolding. They're searching ministries for Ukrainians. Who else? Who else is to blame for all the problems? The session of the Polish Sejm turned into a real political show, I would say a clown show with mutual accusations of betrayal. And of course, let's look into what happened in history. The tone of the discussion rose after a clear statement by Deputy Minister Andrzej Szeptycki, who openly emphasizes his Ukrainian roots. In one of his interviews, he compared the UPA fighters to the Polish cursed soldiers. In the context of recent historical disputes, which will continue for a long time between Kyiv and Warsaw, this statement caused quite a stir in the Sejm. The reaction from the right-wing opposition, of course, followed immediately. Deputy Janusz Kowalski stated that he initiated a parliamentary inspection in all ministries to find out how many people of Ukrainian origin are currently working in the Polish state apparatus. Oh, and why aren't you measuring skulls? I don't understand why we're only limiting ourselves to just biographies. Next, we face an even graver accusation: treason. Former Education Minister Przemysław Czarnek, an arguably questionable minister, called current government members parasites and traitors to Polish interests from the podium, simply because they keep people with those views in the government. The opposition's attempts to judge officials by their ethnic origin, of course, caused bewilderment among the left wing of the Sejm. Vice Marshal of the Sejm, Vladimir Czarzasty, intervened harshly in the discussion. This is a reasonable guy, let's give him a like. He lost his composure and started shouting into the microphone. It's a scandal to search for people of Ukrainian or Jewish origin in the government. And around the corner, are you going to start looking for, gays in the same way? I strongly condemn this as Marshal of the Sejm. Everything is absolutely to the point, maybe not entirely correct in form, but in essence absolutely right. This whole situation around the purity of the ranks looks especially ironic if you look at the Polish right itself, the right wing. Nationalist-minded politicians are so diligently searching for non-Polish roots in their opponents that they completely forget to look in the mirror. If you look at the biographies and family trees of conservative figures, Poland has Korwin-Mikke, thankfully he's no longer around. There, my God, Braun, Mentzen, the most popular politicians of the province. You can find German, Austrian, Ukrainian, Lithuanian roots there, but in political battles, that's all. You don't understand, that's different. Instead of discussing the real effectiveness of officials, the Sejm descends into studying other people's family trees. Of course, not the entire Sejm, but its right wing. So next we have a bit more politics. A great example of modern campaign tactics from Krakow. The candidate for mayor of the city is Marianna Schreiber. She's a blogger, the founder of the I've Had Enough party, and a reality show star from Top Model. Top Model, well, of course, yes, not Maria Kowalewskaya. Oh, what's her name? My God, Maria Sklodowska-Curie, and not Sofia Kowalewskaya. That already speaks for itself, yes, that she is a model. She released campaign videos using neural networks to digitally remove Ukraine and EU flags from government buildings, throw them away, and restore crucifixes in schools. And she says, this wonderful woman in every way. Yes, I will become the mayor of Krakow. I will immediately remove the EU and Ukrainian flags from city buildings, and only the white and red flag will remain. The end of submission to Brussels and foreign propaganda. Krakow will be Polish, declares the woman with the beautiful Polish surname Schreiber. That's it. That's it. She has an interesting approach to her election campaign, but I think some alternatively gifted people will vote for her. The urban problems of Krakow. Overloaded infrastructure, budget shortfalls. God, what are you talking about? This is all boring. We need to cut the problem off at the root. Let's free a million-strong tourist metropolis from Brussels' dictate. We'll take down the Ukrainian flags, and that's it. Life will be good. Well, apparently that's exactly how top models imagine the work of a mayor. The main thing is changing some pipes or whatever. Are you serious? No, I need to take a nice photo of myself taking down the Ukrainian flag. If the people of Krakow want a professional entertainer for a circus instead of a competent administrator, then this is the perfect option. Let's see how many people vote for him. It's very interesting. All right, friends, let's wrap up. Let's probably finish on a good note. Following the Kielce scandal, activists are purchasing transport for Vinnytsia. We already told you that 15 used buses, which were previously planned to be sent to the Ukrainian city, remember that story, still weren't delivered. And Polish activists want to raise 500,000 zlotys to buy them themselves. If they can't deliver the buses, the funds will be used to protect Ukrainian civilians from Russian attacks. So, as you remember, the conflict arose because some deputies demanded that a street in Vinnytsia named after Stepan Bandera be renamed. They said a Polish bus shouldn't be driving on Bandera Street. Because of this, Mayor Serhiy Morgunov withdrew the request so that the aid wouldn't become a political bargaining chip. But huge thanks to the reasonable Poles who actually understand what's going on and despite everything continue to take part in all these fundraisers and know who is a friend and who is an enemy of Poland. I hope that my viewers also understand what's going on. So thank you very much for your attention. Hit like and leave comments. Friends, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. That's all for now. See you next time. To be continued.